Hey, Sean McElroy here with another one of our Autoline exclusives. Joining me today is Caswal Parker from Camshaft Software, and you guys have developed a video game called Automation, the Car Company Tycoon Game. And I love the title of the game there, and you just got to tell me more about this.
So Automation was originally conceived, but it's sort of grown to be quite a bit more. But originally conceived as a game where you could sort of be the armchair CEO of a car company of your choice, starting just after the Second World War, so in 1946. And you can design cars, you can design engines just how you want, and set up your factories and your dealership networks and all that sort of stuff, and manage a company as sort of a combination between like a CEO and like technical director of car design.
Very cool. I guess I got to ask, why? What brought you to develop this game?
I'm a games programmer by trade, and my best friend is a games artist by trade. And 10 years ago, we were just sort of lamenting that we couldn't find anything we wanted to play, and Andrew sort of pitched the idea and wouldn't that be cool? And I went, yeah, it would be. Well, we got most of the team here. I'm the programmer and you're an artist. So let's get started. Let's start making it.
I find that very interesting. Is there any sort of automotive connection there for you guys? I gotta imagine there's something.
We're both car nerds. We're really into our cars. We do amateur like motorsport stuff on the side here in New Zealand. The sort of grassroots motorsport scene's really, really good. So even though there's only 3 people in a household, there's 6 cars parked outside. So really into cars.
So with the game, how does it start out? You know, where do you kick off the starting point with the game?
As well, you sort of have 2 choices, really. We do just have a sort of generic sandbox mode where you can just go in, choose roughly what era of car or what era time you want to be in, and you can just design a car and an engine just free will, just how you want. You're free to place headlights and fixtures and door handles anywhere you want. The like car body and white, you might want to say, is just a complete blank slate, and you can sort of deform and stretch it somewhat and then freely place headlights and grills around. As you can see, there are player designed cars behind me. So there's sort of that mode where you're just free to do what you want, and we have partnered with another game called BeamNG, and you can take the cars you design in our game and export them and drive them in their game. It's a fantastic vehicle simulator, and it's been great fun working with those guys. And then the other aspect is what the namesake of the game is, the tycoon part. So you can go in and you start a campaign, and you're given a couple of car factories, and you design a car, and the game sort of goes, well, with the design parameters you've said, this is going to take sort of 36 months to engineer. And you can sort of go through engineering and tooling the factories and then sells it, and you can see what various demographics, like whether like delivery van buyers like it or family car buyers like it, and where your car is selling and where it's achieving well. And then sort of just time progresses and you can reinvest funds into developing new cars and designs and expand over the 80 years of the game time frame.
That's very cool. That was going to be one of my questions. You know, after you develop the car, what can you do with it? And you know, you're saying you can take it into another game, which I find really cool. You know, are you giving feedback to the user as to you know, what's working for them? If they got a specific engine that they're working on, are there targets that they're trying to shoot for? You know, I'm wondering what sort of interaction that the user has.
So sort of parametric engine model that simulates engine performance behind the scenes is about 95% accurate to real life for naturally aspirated engines. Which it took a long time to get that tweaked and working. For turbo engines, it's fantastic at simulating 1980s turbo cars with lots of turbo lag and lots of boost issues. Our turbo sim isn't great. We're definitely still working on that. So the engines themselves are just like, you know, you have created a 2-liter inline 4 dual overhead cam 4 valve with fuel injection, roughly this cam timing and all that, those sort of parameters, and it will go, well, it makes 120 kilowatts or whatever. Then when you actually go about designing a car, You can, choose whether you want to be monocoque and what suspension you want and what tire widths you want and various other settings, on and on and on. So it's a pretty good to detail, and it will simulate the car and give you, braking stats, 0 to 60, all those sort of parameters. And then it finally takes all of those parameters that describe the car and it evaluates it against 60 market demographics. So as I was sort of saying before, like a family buyer, a family premium buyer, a premium car buyer, a GT car buyer, a supercar buyer. And it says, based on evaluating the various parameters of your car, how much a family car buyer or a supercar buyer likes your car. And so how likely they're going to buy it then over the competition's car.
Very cool. It's awesome that you're going into so much detail. And I think, sometimes for the average person, how much detail and parts there are that go into cars, that it just kind of gets lost on them sometimes, that it just doesn't even cross their mind. I'm wondering, was there something, or is there something that's kind of gone on in this where you guys go, wow, we didn't even think about that, or, just some detail that, you might not have expected?
We try to strike the best balance we can between sort of complexity and still being simple enough to actually learn. Like, because it's basically a tool we've designed, and you've got to learn how to use a tool. So we've got to try and strike a balance. And so we do have people who are, massive car enthusiasts like us, and they're like, oh, it'd be really great if we can like directly tune our own fuel tables. And we're like, no, we've done it for our own cars. We don't want to go there. So we do get people sort of, asking for certain things, and we're like, no, we've sort of made our choices that we think we're at a nice level. It's still a level where we aim to sort of educate the player up to learn more about cars and things like that, but not go so in depth it's completely mind-boggling, and you're never really going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's a great point. A little bit of a teaching model. I just mentioned that some people don't understand the complexity that can go into it. So yeah, it could be a great way to teach someone just a little bit more about what happens in the automotive industry. I'm wondering, what sort of platforms does this game operate on?
It's currently only on Windows PC. We're a small team, and the more platforms you support, the more load it is. So currently just Windows PC.
Right. And you talked about you kind of setting, some of the stuff that you have in there. I was looking through a little bit of it. Is there any consideration for EVs, or are you guys all just total petrol heads, and that's where you want to keep it now?
Well, two of the teams own EVs. We own a Tesla Model 3 Performance, and one of our other programmers has a Nissan Leaf. So we're not total petrol heads, but right. Yeah, we've got to also scope this game to some point, so we can actually finish it at some point. So EVs might come in a future edition, but not in the current one.
So I think this is just an awesome game. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about the game that maybe I've missed?
No, your questions have been fantastic, right on point.
Well, you've nailed all of them. I got to imagine this is available for people to get right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, on Steam.
What does it cost for them to get it?
Well, it depends which country you are, but it's generally based around $30 US. But we're pricing per country.
Well, Caswal, I just got to say, I think it's a really cool concept. And in our business, reading through all the comments of our shows, so often, when a car company does something that someone might not like, they go, yeah, I know I could run that company better than that person. Or, maybe they even jokingly say, I think my dog could run that company better, or something like that. Yeah. But, hey, maybe this game is their chance to finally test out their skills.
Yeah, it is. And that was sort of one of the ideas behind the game as well, was exactly for those sort of people.
Yeah. Caswal, thank you again. Appreciate your time.
Nice. Thank you very much, Sean.